Tennessee hosts Vanderbilt this week. And if the Volunteers win, again, the committee has to be a Tennessee fan. They have to be very closeted Tennessee fans on that playoff committee, because Vanderbilt at 10-2, do they want to deal with the noise, with the blowback that will arise if 10-2 Vanderbilt doesn't get into the playoff? It doesn't appear like 10-2 Vanderbilt really has much of a chance to make the college football playoff. And that's because in the biggest games of Vanderbilt's season this year, they have come up short. And so their resume as a result is it's just okay. That's the reality. Now, FanDuel has this 2.5 points in favor of Tennessee because they are at home. And look, Tennessee does not have a ranked win this year. Tennessee's resume isn't very good. It's why they're nowhere near the college football playoff. But for Vanderbilt this season, their best win probably against Missouri. Texas beat them pretty soundly. You could say LSU, and that they contributed to the LSU death spiral. I understand it, and I'm not opposed to Vanderbilt being in the playoff discussion. The reality, though, and this goes back to an offseason conversation I had with several folks on the show and not on the show, that when you give more at-large opportunities, well, it's just going to benefit the SEC, and they're just going to get everything they want. Vanderbilt winning at number 19 Tennessee. They come into this game ranked 14th. Do you think they are going to jump all the way to where Alabama is, who they lost to? Are they going to go ahead of Miami and BYU? That'd be pretty ridiculous, if we're being honest, especially if Miami were to beat Pitt. I don't think you could rationalize that. Not even the committee would be able to rationalize that. And so Tennessee can spoil Vanderbilt's playoff hopes, but I don't know how big those hopes actually are. I think the Vols are going to win this game. Interesting quarterback matchup, because both guys, Joey Aguilar for Tennessee and Diego Pavia for Vanderbilt, are very capable. They are good playmakers. They have a lot of it factor to them. The one that turns the ball over less probably comes out on top. And I think that Tennessee, who's having a good season after the whole Nico drama, and we'll see what they do in the offseason, but I'm probably going to be bullish-ish. Bullish-ish. Is that a thing? Can we do that? I can, because it's my show. But, well, it's your show, but I just happen to host it. So anyway, I think Tennessee handled everything right with the Nico situation. They're a good team. They're not a great team. We know that. They are not a great team. But I think they are good enough at home to beat Vanderbilt here. This is going to be a tight, contested game. That's what Vegas thinks. That's what I think as well. I think you're going to see a lot of points in this football game. Not a classic SEC showdown where the winning team has 13 points. No, this is going to be the opposite of that. Give me Tennessee. Watch this. 38-34. Lots of points. Tennessee's got to take away the Vanderbilt run game and make Diego Pavia do everything. They got to take away Diego Pavia's running element. They do that, I think they'll win the football game. Speaking of 10-2 teams not likely to make the playoff, Utah travels to Kansas. This is on Friday. It's probably already happened, perhaps, as you're listening to or watching this show, or it is soon to kick off. They go to Kansas, and Kansas State just walked in, ran all over them to the tune of 470 yards. Not kidding, real stat. Kansas is an offense that can go up and down the field. They've got a veteran quarterback in Jalen Daniels. They've got an offensive philosophy. Here's what they don't have: a defense. Utah is favored, according to FanDuel, by 10.5 points. I think Utah is going to make the defensive adjustments from last week that they clearly weren't able to make during the game. I don't think they let that happen twice. I think they go on the road. I think they roll Kansas. This is not one of my best bets of the week because it's a big number on the road. I think they get back to their ways of blowing teams out when they need to make a statement and give the committee the best possible impression they can of their football team going into playoff selection. I think Utah and Vanderbilt are likely to be a pair of 10-2 teams that get left out of the playoff, and you know what that does? Maintains some semblance of the old school regular season urgency. So as disappointing as that is for Utah and Vandy fans, those results have to matter. So Utah, I think, ends up at 10-2, which was exactly where I had them record-wise before the season. I'll take them to win 38-20. They knock off Kansas, get a bounce back on defense. How about Virginia Tech at Virginia? The Cavaliers' offense this year boy, it has had some duds. It has had some moments that have just been straight up not very good. And I think Virginia is a good story. I think Tony Elliott, along with Jake Dickert at Wake Forest, should be the co-ACC coaches of the year for the job that they have done, because it's been nothing short of remarkable. Just as a reminder, I'm going to throw this up for the YouTube audience. My preseason ACC power rankings, I had Virginia at 13th and Wake Forest at 16th. Yeah, this is the Chaos Conference. I think I nailed the middle of this conference, like from 4 to 8. Boy, I feel pretty good outside of Syracuse in there. But boy, this has been the Chaos Conference. So the preseason for me, 13 and 16 teams being on the precipice. Wake Forest plays Duke. They're a 1.5 point favorite on the road in that one. And if they win that game, they'll be 9-3. Virginia wins this game. They're in the ACC championship game, I'm pretty sure. Tiebreaker scenarios, man, they'll give you an absolute headache. Which Virginia offense is going to show up? That's the question for me in this game. Because Virginia Tech, their fans have got all sorts of energy. Program's got a bunch of juice. Those Hokie players might very well be playing to put something on film to show James Franklin, hey, this is what I can do for you. And in a rivalry game like this, anything could happen. Anything could happen in a rivalry game like this. Because Virginia Tech's got nothing to lose. They're all about the future. And yet, I don't know. Virginia's favored by 8.5 points. Would it shock you if the boys from Blacksburg went to Charlottesville and wound up getting a win? It wouldn't shock me. I am going to take Virginia to win. 27-20, I think they get it done, and they'll be playing for the right in the ACC title game to go to the college football playoff. It's a wild scenario. There might be a tiebreaker where they could miss it. Anyway, if they win and Miami beats Pitt, then that's it. Because then Virginia will be a one-loss team, and there can only be one other one-loss team, and that's SMU, who plays Cal this week. Those long road trips in the ACC, I don't know. I don't know. What does Cal do now that they fired Justin Wilcox? That can go one of two ways. You can roll over, or the locker room can be galvanized. We shall see.